Hello everyone, it is the me again, Penguin 21 today. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, we're talking about Refordge again. Yeah, I know. What the hell did he do this time? Alright, so, let's get to this. If you didn't know, already, that, Refordge Gaming is a PlayStation fanboy. If you didn't believe it before, now you should, because there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about here. So last week, obviously, because my upload schedule dictates that I am always weeks late to this thing, there was a little bit of a spat between Alex and Refordge Gaming, where Refordge blocked him on Twitter, and the entire internet collectively sighed in a thing of, oh, okay. Also, I'm kind of wondering what the fuck happened, but yeah. So essentially what happened in this context was the fact that Refordge made a clip on Twitter, or someone clipped him in such a way that he was talking about Alex, and he was talking about content creators who make the Salt content in general. And that's the clip that we're going to be looking at today, as well as a couple other clips that we are talking about here. Now, I wanted to cover this because, obviously, as a commentary-styled YouTuber, I feel like I have a little bit of experience within the commentary community and the salt mining community specifically. I feel like that's a pretty good place to do it. So just note that I looked everywhere for this clip that I'm about to show you, and unfortunately, I am going to have to use it from the Klitzy King himself, unfortunately, because I couldn't find it myself, so I had to kind of edit down the clip from his video, because he got it from Twitter somewhere, and I had to get it from him. I really should have asked, but I don't know him personally, so I basically took his video and I edited the clip together, so it's not like I'm using his entire video. So if there's ever like 1 or 2 frames of his actual thing, just bear in mind that I tried my best. So yeah, and I'm not going to use the same edits, obviously, because I used the blah, 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 blah. Not important. What is important is I got the clip. I will link Klitzy in the description because I got the clip from him, which he got it from Twitter. So if there's any drop in quality, this is like twice removed. There's also another video that we're going to be looking at later today, but we get ahead of ourselves, so let's get a look at this, shall we?
Quite hard. I'm never going to tell Alex what to do with his content, but I think people need to start considering the psychological ramifications of constantly roasting, making fun of, and mocking people on the internet.
Wow. Like, literally 10 seconds in, and I already have a problem with this. Look, if you want to be standing on your high horse, right, and saying that you, of all people, are not going to dictate what the fuck to do with someone's content, then immediately say, hey, your content might have an effect on people. That kind of seems like dictating what you want the person to do with their content, for the most part. Like that's not that hard of a leap in logic. Secondly, if this did have the amount of sheer overall like effect that you are talking about, where is that? Where is that psychological effect? Because if you're saying these people are just acting crazy because we're pushing back against them and trying to prevent them from giving actual misinformation, which they do from time to time, I kind of think that that's more important to get the correct information out there. As someone who values correct information like yourself, Refordge Gaming, don't you think that getting out and dissuading and completely dismissing wrong and unverified information is more important than just making maybe a couple jokes about people? Kind of seems like that. Just saying.
What are we going to do one day if somebody like MBG just gets tired of the hate, gets tired of being salted, memed on, hated on, mocked, attacked, and one day he's gone? We wake up and there's a news report. What are we going to think then? I think that's going to make the content hit a little different, isn't it? We rallied and mocked this guy, made fun of this guy, false framed his statements, articles were written about him, right? Constantly attacked him, constantly misrepresented him. You know, you got Jez Corden saying that MBG built his channel on hating on Xbox. That's not true. That's not true at all. What does that feel?
I highly doubt that, first of all. I think that he has been hating on Xbox for quite a while, and that's what he's basically built his recent channel on. Now, you might say, oh, well, that wasn't his original intentions, and the videos and stuff was there. Bitch, first of all, that's not how you build your YouTube channel. Number one, the biggest thing with building a YouTube channel is learning to change. See, the thing with changing and adapting your content to your audience is essentially what happens. I like this quote that, I forget who specifically said it first, who he quoted it from, but from a person that I follow on YouTube Shorts called Anti-Profit, and he says that, like, your vibe attacks your tribe. That's not his actual quote. That's from a different person, but he quoted it in one of his videos, and I like that. The fact that he is on the verge of, like, 100,000 subscribers, right? MBG is on the verge of 100,000 subscribers, and the majority of his content is absolutely taking everything that Xbox does, right? Every little ounce of news from it and just shitting it out of his mouth. You kind of understand that he basically built that channel on hating Xbox. It might not have been his original intentions, absolutely fucking not. I can speak from experience and say this channel was not built off of me talking into a microphone and doing commentary. No. This channel originally started out as my way to play video games, hence my name, Game Penguin. But as of now, I yell into a microphone and try to talk to people about counterpoints for it. So my channel being built upon that and being built upon the stuff that I'm doing now, because that's what caused me to grow the most, is actually the most important bit. Some people here are the most base people here, like the original 100 subscribers, I think, to be able to watch me play some of my video games and stuff. But you're telling me that he didn't create and make an audience out of just hating on Xbox. My brother in Christ, that's his content, and that's his audience. Full stop.
Do you think, when you've worked really hard to grind and you got a YouTube channel and you're on the verge of 100,000 subscribers and you get misrepresented, misframed, attacked, mislabeled, name-called, you have somebody who writes for a respected outlet saying that you built your channel hating on Xbox. What do you think that does to somebody's psychology, their mental health? A lot of these content creators live very isolated lives. They live very isolated lives. What do you think that does to a person?
I mean, in all honesty, one of, if not the biggest things about this is, yeah, we live very isolated lives, but I myself actually have people around me as well who I trust in that context. I think you bring this up in a different clip or something like that we might look at. But the thing with this is that if you put yourself out there into the public eye, you should be criticized, regardless of who you are, regardless of how you feel, regardless as to what you personally think should be talked about. You're trying to tell us and use MBG as like a, what the fuck is the word? It's not a false equivalency, I don't think. It's an appeal to something. It's a logical fallacy that you're trying to use. An appeal to sympathy, that's what it's called. You're trying to use an appeal to sympathy to say that our stuff could do this. Our talking about stuff could be like this. We could, in theory, do this. You can play whataboutism game all the damn day, but it's still an appeal to sympathy because of the fact that you are threatening someone else's life over your own or anything like that. It's until the day that actually happens, I don't think that people value this. Now, some of you might point out that there was actually stuff like this that has happened in the past. Absolutely, 100%. bullying and cyberbullying is one of those things where it is a topic that is very touchy for some people. I myself have been actually bullied and have actually considered doing pretty nasty things. But here's the difference, right? I understand that I can move past this. And I think as an adult, right, as someone who is an adult, you should be able to understand that you can move past this if you just let the other person talk themselves to death. Maybe not in that same vein, but if you just let the person talk enough, you'll realize that their position it's not yours, obviously. And also, their position, the way that I think, unless they have like good substantial evidence to that, I don't think that they're correct. And I believe that there is a lot of leniency in there as well. So you can say, okay, I need like this amount of percentage of evidence to believe you. And that's true for me. Like I need a sufficient amount of evidence. I've gone off the rails here. Look, the point is that Refordge Gaming is just using an appeal to sympathy to try to guilt trip the commentary community into stop talking about him and other people who are fanboys. You want me to stop talking about Harmon Smith because I'm afraid I'll hurt his feelings? You want me to stop talking about you because I'm afraid that I'll bring up something that is hurtful to you, emotionally speaking? Like, seriously?
Did he start with Xbox? Did he name anybody? Did he pull anybody up on his stream and name call, mock, and jeer at? No. Somebody clipped him and framed it as he's jealous of these people. Did he name them? Did he go after them? Did he mock them? Did he name call them? Did he pull them up on a stream and let a live audience just eviscerate them? Did he do that? I'm just curious, because we've just accepted that that's okay. It's just totally fine and totally normal. It's culturally pathological, the way that we treat people. It's like, well, I don't agree with what this guy said about this brand, therefore, it's totally fine to mock, satirize, name call, misrepresent, misframe, eviscerate. I mean, maybe one day he wakes up and he self-deletes because we won't leave him alone. We make everything personal because we have unresolved mental health problems on our own, and so we pour that out on this guy because we don't like his takes about our brand.
Oh boy, that's a lot to unpack. Look, one of the not the biggest things that I will be saying about this man is the sheer fact that he, again, tries to get that appeal to sympathy in a lot of ways, using MBG as an example. But it seems like he's doing some projection here as well if we're going to be doing some really big mental psychological breakdowns. But if you have to say all of these things, like, it's weird to me how, again, he can look at someone like MBG and say that they're not doing misinformation about anything. They're not taking a shit on everyone around them. And again, not doing the exact same thing that he's talking about, right? How MBG doesn't get offended when you talk about Xbox and the positives there. How MBG doesn't mock, berate, and talk and like shit on people when he clearly does on places like Twitter and whatnot. Do you even know who you're talking about right now? In terms of just, not even just MBG, in terms of a lot of the PlayStation guys. I can think of at least 5 or 6 different people off the top of my head alone who literally have come after some of my fellow commentators and some of my fellow people that I am in the commentary community and stuff with, and talked down about them, all because they disagree with their position. You're trying to come at us from a similar mindset, quote unquote, but you don't understand that you are in the group that's already talking shit and already trying to provide misinformation. To just list off the few people that I can think of, you got MBG, obviously, since we're using him as an example. You then got King Thrash, who Mr. 10,000 IQ, but can't do simple addition, doesn't understand what a star or what a gas giant is. Then you also got the amazing Lucas, who, by the way, I'm going to be honest, I agree a lot more with the amazing Lucas recently. He does have his missteps once in a while, and I think I will talk about one of his latest videos. But you have him, where he has his moments. You have J-Dub, who got so scared to upload videos that he only live streams and rarely uploads his actual like thoughts and opinions and talks about stuff on his channel because he doesn't want people to clip him. But they still clip him anyway because they know that it makes him angry. And the reason why he does only live streams now is because he doesn't want to give us the content or the salt, because we don't want to sit there for 6 hours and just talk and talk and talk, because no one can really do that. And yeah, absolutely. Like, that's a kind of a bitch move. But that's when things just kind of, like, you don't see our perspective because you're in the group that sees it from their perspective, and you are getting assured that your perspective is correct. You are friends with some of these people who actually spread falsified and wrong information. You are one of those people as well. It's... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But that was just the one clip. The second clip that we will look at is another one where he's still talking about MBG. So we'll do that one next.
They showed you how fast travel worked. It's not a loading screen. It's literally an animation. You're immediately in the city, in engine. Whoop, I can control the character. That's not a loading screen. Do you know what a loading screen is? You know what it is? This is a loading screen, bro. That's a loading screen. That's a loading screen. You don't want to know. You want to know what's not a loading screen? This little green animation. That's not a loading screen, right? I just gave you a real life example. Watch, here he fast travels and zoom. That's not a loading screen.
I find that really funny because, again, he does this exact same thing, Mr. I live in a glass house. You lash out at even people in your audience trying to just have a simple debate with you. How many people have you banned or blocked or talked down to, all because you had a simple disagreement? How many people have you talked to and did not even consider, right? You didn't even consider asking them why they thought that way. That's what I do a lot of the times as well. Like, in my opinion, I try to ask people a lot of that same stuff. And yeah, certainly I misstep and I will say things out of context, but I will never not stand by my word. If I fuck up and I have to take an L, I will literally sit there and take that L, especially if someone debates me in a respectful manner. I would love to come on your show, and I would love to actually pick your brain as to what you are talking about in this context. But again, still trying to use that same old false equivalency or whatever. But here's the thing, like, how can we take... This is one thing that I also don't understand about people like Refordge who don't understand how commentary works. How can we take your talk, your speech, your everything out of context, right? Your entire rant that we want to clip to be able to talk about, your points, your everything, the stuff that you say. How can we take that out of context when we use the original footage and the original video and audio and just talk in such a manner? Like, how is that taking you out of context? Because we clip it? Because we try to use your clips as talking points? Because we try to I don't know. How is using your words in a video and then using our opinion to disprove your words, taking you out of context, when we literally use the video itself and the context that you provide to make our points. How is that taking you out of context? I don't get that.
That's like a transition. A loading screen is when you literally get like a static image and a little spinner down in the corner. Trust me, there's loading screens in Jedi Survivor, and I think they're a little too long. It's a little irritating. It's like Jedi Survivor Left Behind Old Jen. It's good looking. It's pretty game. But why do I have so many loading screens? Why are they so long? If I die and respawn, it's like sometime today, and I'm back in the game. That's a loading screen.
I mean, you already sound like that. If I'm being honest, Chief. You already sound like a mudslinging whatever the fuck trash panda that you just said. To me, one of, if not the biggest things that I always make sure that I understand, and I always make sure that my audience understands, is something called a pattern of behavior. Whenever you have a person like Refordge, whenever you have a person like MBG, whenever you have a person like even Harmon Smith, you need to understand, I don't make these videos on the same people because I like to. I mean, part of me does like to be honest. I make no money off of this stuff anyway because just I don't have the subscriber counter, I don't even have the AdSense or anything like that, so whoop-de-doo. So I'm making this just for the fun of it. But the thing is, right? The thing is, if you're going to say that these people that you talk about, that the NBG and stuff that you are talking about are good people because they agree with you, that's just having a bunch of yes men in your corner. I have people who I somehow get along with great, but I disagree with them on certain fundamental levels. I have one friend who keeps me in check all the time because I talk to them about some stuff like this, and I explain to them some of my points. One of the big things that we always tend to talk about is like things in the political nature and things about LGBT stuff, because they are very much into that space. I'm not. I support everyone, and I don't care what you do so long as you're not hurting yourself or the people around you to a significant degree. There's sometimes when it's inevitable that you're going to hurt someone. Absolutely. It's like unavoidable at times. But if you can avoid it, please do, especially in specific contexts. But for me, I make these videos to try to explain the points that the points that these people try to put and try to explain that, oh, this company is good because I agree with a lot of the stuff that they are talking about and a lot of the stuff that they talk to me about. And if you're telling me that you would have banned more people, you would have talked to less people, you would have turned up the heat to other people more without the people in your live, how does that translate to us? You know, because I have a family, I have people that like me, I have some relationships that I really like and enjoy. Absolutely. So you're gonna tell me that you don't think that our relationships keep us in check? I mean, that kind of seems correct to me. I think one of the other things here is you got to also understand that YouTube not only is a business, but it's also entertainment. And the thing for me is, I always try to make sure and make it very clear that I am playing a caricature of myself. I am playing someone who emphasizes my stuff to an nth degree. Absolutely. I would probably never say some of these things out loud to a person face to face, probably, but I would still stand by a lot of the things that I say in these videos because these are still my unadulterated, unfiltered thoughts, okay? But it's still a more heightened version of myself, in the sense that I don't talk in this same way. I mean, I have the same voices, I have the same way that I speak, but I emphasize my voice differently. and I play a caricature. I think a lot of commentary people play a caricature or a character, or they play someone that's not necessarily themselves in order to get a point across. And that's what most people do. That's what you're doing right now. I don't think you talk this way. I think that you have a lot of the same beliefs there, and that your mask slips off every now and then. But I make no fault in saying the sense of that I am wearing a mask. That's why I don't like showing my face anymore. It's just how it goes. Anyway, I think that'll about do it for this video. This went on way longer than I wanted it to. But if you like what it is that I do and want to support me in any way, shape, or form, links down in the description below to the Gumroad and stuff like that. New music coming out soon. Hopefully it'll be out by the time video goes up. Refordge. And a piece off.
Hey man.